Hello everyone, welcome to Informatica Data Quality videos. In this session, we will be following for installation. So for IDQ installation, we will be having the server installer and the client installer. So we will be extracting server installer and clients installer. So usually whenever you are working on the project, so this server installer will be done by the administrator guys, so they will be taking care of this server installation, and client installation you might need to install from your in your machine wherever you are connecting from. So sometimes the client also, they will be admin team will be providing for you. So if you get chance to do these things, like whenever you're working on any training sessions in your company, or you get to chance to work on this, so this class will help you. So we will be going with the server installation steps. So first we will be extracting the server installer, and we will be finding a install.bat. So it's a batch file you will be getting, which is for Windows environment. So if you are working for Linux environment, you will be getting install.sh shell script command you will be getting. So that the shell script file you will going to execute. So once you click on the install.bat, you will be getting the dialog box. So that dialog box will ask you to select whether you are going for fresh installation, new installation, or are you upgrading for a new version, 961 version. Let's say you have 901 or 951 in your machine and you want to upgrade it to 961. Then the second option will help you to upgrade your existing Informatica server. So once we have selected the install or upgrade, so we will be selecting install for a fresh copy of software. So once we will be selecting this install, we will be going to next. So in the next, you will be finding the pre-installation tasks. So what are all the pre-installation tasks will be performed while the server is getting installed. So these are all the prerequisite steps it will be prompting for. So for that, the minimum things will be disk space requirement and memory requirement that we need to take care, and then it will try to check all these things. So it will check for database and all the database account. So it depends on the steps you are following and providing the details. It will be checking these things. So once we have checked the pre-installation, then we will be going for next. This is a summary view. It's just providing what are all the prerequisites we need to maintain. Once we have seen the details, if you are okay, then we are going to next. So in the next level, you will be providing the appropriate license key. So while you are installing the server, you have to provide the license key, so that whenever you are going with the Informatica installation, based on the license key, the appropriate functions or plugins will be added. So we will be selecting the installation. So whenever you are registering with Informatica, they will be sharing the installers along with the license key. So usually they will be sharing the links to download. So whenever you are registered, you will be having Informatica email ID, so that you will be logging with your email whichever you are registered. So once you are logging to Informatica site with their credentials, you will be finding the links to download. There itself you will be having the license, and you will be finding the license key. They will be sharing to your registered email ID. So once we get all the details, we will start the installation. So you will be selecting the appropriate license key for the installer, whether you are installing IDQ 961 or 10.1 version. So based on that, you will be selecting your key. So once we selected the installer license key, then you will be going for a next step. So this is the step we will be like, what are all the things you have provided till now. So what are all the details you have provided. Product name, this is the one. Installation, you have selected new installation, and this is the path you have provided. And the disk space, the required disk space is 6 GB and available is 90 GB. So it's required, so it's having enough space. So this is providing the installation summary. The previous step we have seen the prerequisites, and here we are seeing pre-installation summary. So once we have okay with this, then you will be selecting the install button. When you click on install button, then the actual installation will be progressed. So whenever you click on install, all the files, like all the jar files and all the system files, will be extracted and it will be placed in your installation directory. So once this 100% is completed, then you have to create a domain. So it's a mandatory step whenever you are prompting for Informatica services or server installation. The domain configuration is a mandatory. So under this domain, you can able to create your node, you can able to configure your node, and you can able to configure your services. So first step would be your domain. So under that domain only, we will be able to do the next level steps. So we will be creating a domain, and based on the requirement we will be selecting the enable HTTPS. So once we selected the enable HTTPS, then whenever you are trying to hit your admin console URL, it will be redirected to HTTPS URL. So by default HTTPS port would be 8443. So this is based on your, so it's recommended option by Informatica, enabling HTTPS for Informatica administrator. If not, if you deselect also, it will work. So it depends on your security level you are maintaining. So once we have created a domain, we need to provide the database connection details. So while you are configuring your domain, you need to have your database in the backend to store all the configurations you are what all the configuration you are making for. So what are all the configuration you are doing. So those things will be captured. So once we have provided the details, you will be having here you will be providing the database domain details. So what are the database details we will be providing. So here you will be selecting the database type. So your database type can be Teradata, DB2, SQL Server. So available database you are working for. So that database we will be selecting here. Database type, and you will be providing the database user and password details. So once we have provided the details, you will be clicking on next to add the database for the domain. So once we have provided the database connection details, your next step is to provide your encryption password. So this encryption password will be added on top of your domain. So whenever you are upgrading your version 961 version to 10.1 version, it will take this keyword as an encryption key. So it will be like it's kind of a security for your domain. So you will be providing key. So whenever you are prompting for new installation, this can be anything. So you can give your own keyword, and it's act like a encryption key. Whenever you are upgrading this, so that keyword should be given, so that it will take in as an encryption key and it will allow for the upgrade. So for a fresh installation, it can be anything. Keyword can be anything. So once we have provided the keyword, then we will be providing the Informatica domain details. So in previous step we have prompt for creating, just we have selected the create a domain or join a domain. So create domain is for a fresh installer. If you are already existing one or upgrading, then you will be prompting for join a domain. So existing domain will be joined with this. So here you will be providing the database connection details. Then you have to provide your domain name and what is the node host name. So what is the node name and what is the node hosted. So if you are maintaining one node, then you will be, and some whenever you are prompting for multiple nodes, like let's say you are working on production environment or UAT environment, then you might see multiple nodes. So whenever you are installing, it will be one node which is acting your primary node. So once the installation finishes, you can able to add multiple nodes from admin console. So this node will act as your primary node. So here we have provided the domain name and node. It's the node host name would be your machine name. So whatever the machine name you are having, that machine name you will be providing here. That is your local host name. And the port is a default port for node. So if you whatever the based on availability of the port, you can give your node port number. And then we will be configuring the domain username, which is your administrator user. So we will be providing the username and password so that that user can be accessible on that domain. So what all the domain you are creating, so that domain will be accessible with this username. Usually it would be your administrator while your installation, right? So once we have done with this step, again it will show the next step would be run Informatica service with administrator user. If you want to run your Informatica under your administrator user, then you have to unselect this. Usually it will be selected. We have to unselect this so that it will be run with administrator user. And once that is done, you will be doing next. So that finishes your server installation. So in the step 8, you will be finding the summary view. So the log information. So what are all the steps you have come for? So that steps, how the steps went, and all the information will be logged in your 961 server services.log. And Informatica services are available under 961 server start Informatica services. And your administrator homepage would be your HTTP machine name and 6008 is your port for administrator. So as you have configured the HTTPS enabled, so whenever you enter this URL, it will be redirected to HTTPS automatically. So and the installation type is new installation and installation directory is this one. So with that, your server installation will be completed. So it is a pretty straightforward in the initial. The only major part is to concentrate on the domain details. So the domain details you need to be careful while you are providing, and what are all the details you are providing, please make a note of it so that whenever you are going for node name, host name, port numbers, so port numbers is a mandatory. So port numbers is an important thing. So you have to take all the details and then you can able to log into the URL. So take the URLs and keep it aside so that whenever you start using the tool, so that URLs will be helpful. So that is your server installation. And next would be your client installation. So in order to access the Informatica data quality tools, we need to install a client installers. So for that we will be extracting the installation file, and once we have extracted, you will be finding the install.batch. So like how you will be getting in your, like how you will be having in your server installation, same way you will be having install.batch file here. So here once you have opened it, you will be getting the option to select whether you are going for fresh installation or upgrading the existing clients. So if you have already existing thing, then the existing clients will be upgraded. So based on the need, you will be selecting the appropriate option. So as we are doing fresh installation, you will be going for install Informatica 961 clients. So once we have selected that, you will be selecting the appropriate clients to install. So whenever you are working for Power Center, you will be selecting for Power Center. Whenever you are working for Informatica developer, you will be going for Informatica developer. If you are working on both, then you will be selecting Informatica developer as well as Power Center client. And this is another tool you will be having, Data Transformation Studio, which is useful for data transformation, B2B data transformation studio it would be. So it depends on the project needs, you will be going for that client. Otherwise, we will be selecting only Informatica developer and Power Center client. So once we have selected the clients, you will be going for next step. So in the next step, it asks for data, and it's related, that third step, next step, fourth step related to your data transformation studio. It's asked for whether we need to go for new installation and create a copy of Eclipse, or if you already having your existing thing, then you will be going for Eclipse directory. So it's related to the data transformation studio. So if you are using that, then you will be prompting for this. Otherwise, just select the default one, which is your install the data transformation studio. And once we have done with the fourth step, so here you will be having the summary view. So it's a pre-installation summary. So like how we have seen in the server, so you will be having what is the installation directory, what is the required disk space, and what is the available. So it's a pre-installation summary. Once we are okay with that, then just click on install. Then it will try to install the clients, and it will be very quick because it does not have any jar files and all like your server. So it's just GUI, graphical user interface, will be created for Power Center as well as your IDQ. So once that is done, it will provide you the post installation summary. So what are all the clients being created and where it is being created. So this is about client installation. The client installation is pretty straightforward. Just selecting the clients and doing the next. So that is only the thing you will be going with the client installation. It's a pretty straightforward steps. So server installation and client installation we have seen so far. Now we will be seeing the actual part, which is your configuration. So installation can be done, but the configuration is only the key thing you need to know, so that you will be having idea how you have to configure your services. So now we will be logging into admin console and we'll see what are all the steps will be used. Let me log into admin console. So we have logged into admin console, and the very first and foremost thing we have to check is your domain has been created. So imagine we have not gone for any configuration yet. Your domain will be there and node will be there. So rest will not be having anything in the when you are prompting for fresh installation. And just go with the node and check the properties, so that you will be seeing all the things. So whether the database is prompting for the same. So you will be having the properties and details, and this is your node. This is the host name you have provided, and what is the port for the node. All the details you will be finding here. So once that is done, you will be going for a service configurations. So before that, we will be seeing the connections, because wherever you require any database connections need to be configured. So first we will be going with the connections, and we will create the connections first. So what are all the necessary connections we are using as part of our services configuration, we will be creating them and we will be using them wherever it required. So usually we will be having the data integration service connection. So we'll see where we will be creating and where we will be using. So to create a connection, domain, connections, under that you have to select the domain, and under your actions you will be finding new connection. So this we have seen whenever we are creating the database relational connection from your developer tool. So whenever we are prompting for physical data object of type relational, we have created this new connection. So we have created from developer tool and we have refreshed here. And these are all the steps in order to create new connection from admin console. So actions, new connections, these are all the database types. It will be so we can create these many types of database type connections. So here based on the requirement we will be selecting the, so based on the environment you are using we will be selecting the connection type. So we are using Oracle, so we will be selecting Oracle connection. So once we have selected OK, you will be providing the names. So what names we need to have. So we will be providing the database connection details in order to add it. So we have to provide the name. So name can be anything and ID can be anything, which will be stored under your connections. And this is your connection username and password. So once we have selected it, go to next and provide the connection string details. So these are all the minimum requirement to add a connection. So whenever you are doing multiple times, so it will be like so you will be getting hands-on while you are creating the connections in IDQ. So once we have provided the details, just test your connection for confirmation and doing finish. So it will be providing your, the new connection has been added. So likewise you will be adding connections. What are all the database connections you are prompting for, like source connection, target connection, or if you are maintaining any stages in your project, so that connections also we will be maintaining. So the admin will prompt to create all the connections and provided you the details accordingly. So once we have done with the connections, then you will be going for services and nodes. In this you will be able to create your nodes and services. Let's say you have like any UAT environment or production environment you are working on, and you are prompt to create multiple nodes. Then you can able to create your own node. So you can create your node based on the performance, or if any let's say if one node is down, then immediately next node will be pick up. So it depends on the maintenance. So based on the maintenance, it will be, you will be creating the nodes appropriately. And so these are all the data quality services. So one is your model repository service, which will be used to maintain the metadata information. So what are all the metadata information you're going to maintain as part of your project or applications? You will be creating the model repository service and configure the settings. And next service is your data integration service. So what are all the data related jobs need to be run, like profiling run, data viewer, mapping run, workflow run. So what are all the data related jobs need to be triggered you have to have data integration service in place. So for that you will be selecting this, and next option would be analyst service. So the analyst service is exclusively for analyst tool. So in order to have a metadata in place and data integration, data review in place, then you will be having the analyst tool. So this analyst tool is responsible for analyst service is responsible for maintaining analyst tool. So we will see what are all the steps involved in creating model repository service, data integration service, and analyst service. So just you are selecting the model repository service. So creating new model repository service. So it's a simple 2 steps process. DQ. You have to provide your own model repository name. So you have to provide the name as a mandatory and location, and you need to select the license. So appropriate license you will be selecting it. And once we have selected the details, next step you need to provide the database details, which is for repository. So to maintain all the metadata information in a relational connection database, we have to provide the database properties, so that what are all the metadata information like physical data object, logical data object, mappings, maplets, what are all the data objects you are maintaining in your repository, so that will be stored in the database. So for that we need to configure the database details here. So the database type depends on your availability of your database connection you are maintaining. So we are selecting the Oracle, and then you have to provide the username and password. So the username and password would be your database username password. So for now I'm just providing the same. Forward the others. So as I remember only the ones IDQ and credentials, and keep on using that username password. Please ignore that. Please bear with me. So I just remember only that username. So otherwise I would have provided multiple usernames. So IDQ and is the one is your database connection, and we will be providing the connection string. So once we have provided it, it will try to take this database username and password and the database properties, and it will try to add it for model repository service. So whenever any metadata information is being processed, is maintained by model repository service, so that will be captured in your database, which is your model repository. So once we have provided the details, just confirmation test connection, and here you need to provide the specify the creation options. So whenever you are going with the fresh installation, then you have to select the no content exists. So this no content exists under specified connection string will be creating new content, which is your system tables. So what are all the recommended system tables need to be created by Informatica for the model repository service. So those tables will be created. So that content will be created under your connections which you have selected. If you are having a very new, so you are prompting for the first time, then you have to select the no content. So when you are upgrading from 951 to 961, already the content is exists, then you have to select the content exists under specify connection string, so that it will try to reuse that system tables, right? So for fresh installation, the no content should be there, so that it will try to create the content. So once we have done with the settings, we will be clicking on finish to add the new model repository service. So that is about your model repository service. So as we are already having the service, I am not clicking on finish. So here is your model repository service is already existing. So what are all the things we have seen so far? So same details you will be finding here. License and database username password, and you will be, so your what is that? Here you will be having the, what is that, repository content. So here you will be having that. If you do not prompt for creation at adding, when you are adding your model repository service, you forgot to select the create new content. So you will be having the option here, repository under actions. So whenever you selected model repository service, under actions, repository content, you will be you can select create. As you already created, it is not showing create button. If you not prompt for create, then you will be having this create active, not it will be enabled. So that is about model repository service, which is your very primary service. And then the very next important thing is your data integration service. I have to select the domain. Under the domain, you need to click on actions, and you have to go for data integration service. So here data integration service talks about all the running, what are all the jobs need to be run. It can be profiling, mapping, workflow, anything. So all the related information we need to provide in this data integration service. So we will be seeing what are all the things. So here we will be selecting the key and node, and here you need to provide the model repository service to communicate with this data integration service. This is your model repository service properties. So you have to provide your username, so which is your administrator, and password is your administrator. And once we have configured the model repository service in the first instance, then you have to go with the next level properties, which is your security. So next step need to be provide the security, specify the security properties. So if you want to maintain HTTPS enabled on your data integration service, you will be selecting the option accordingly. So it depends on your project. So based on the security levels you are maintaining, like if you are going with the banking domain, so they will prompt for more secure. So it depends on your project you are working on. The HTTPS protocol type will be varying. So next level you need to provide the email server properties. So again it will be based on the email configurations you have. So the details you will be providing here, and the sender in email you will be selecting here. So whenever you are prompting for any email alerts, whenever data integration service is actioning on anything and you want to have email address need to be configured, then you will be providing your, usually it would be your server name. Admin indicates your server name and your company name.com. So it will provide you whether it is development environment or UAT environment or prod. So based on that you will be configuring this. So once we have done with that, then so if you are not prompting for anything, just leave the details as it is, so that the default details will be taken. So if you want to go with the default things, just click on next. So this is about your logical data object cache properties. So after how much amount of time the cache need to be refreshed, so that details we need to provide here. Cache removal time, here the amount of time, it says amount of time to wait before clearing cache storage after a refresh. So once you have refresh the data logical data object, that means you will be getting the latest results. So how much time it need to be wait. So that waiting time will be provided here, so that once data get refreshed, that means latest data result being published, then these many seconds it will be waiting. After that it will be clearing the cache. And in order to maintain the cache, you will be providing the cache connection so that the details will be stored. So whatever the cache you are prompting for, that cache information will be stored under this connection you have provided. And next one would be maximum concurrent refresh request. So how many objects you can able to refresh at a time. So how many logical data objects you can refresh, you can process a request at a time. So that is your maximum concurrent request. So up to 5 logical data objects you can refresh at parallel. So that is it. It depends on your usage of your logical data objects in your project. You will be going for it. And the log level is info. So information level details, log level details will be captured. So that is about the log level. And then the default deployment mode. So whenever the service been added, so what action need to be taken. So once your admin console is up and running, so it should be enable and start. So that is what we are providing, default deployment mode. So once data integration service is picked with domain, so this is action need to be taken care. So whenever you started your service, it will be enabled and started automatically. If you do not want to start it automatically, then just enable it, and whenever you want, you can able to start it. So it's based on the again it's based on your requirement. So once that is done, it is to provide the modules. So what are all the modules you are going to work with the data integration service? Web services, human task, mapping services, profiling services, SQL service module, workflow service. So all these places the data integration service will be useful. So that details will be, so based on the requirement you will be having, you will be selecting this and you will be providing the details accordingly. And this is again your HTTP proxy server. So again it is related to security. So if you are maintaining any proxy and you are maintaining any allowed IP addresses, then you will be going with this section. And you can able to set up the proxy and you can allow any IPs if you want. And once we have done, we have to provide the file name prefix. So whenever the file name will be, so whenever the cache files will be created, so it will be prefixed with this name. So this is one of the settings we will be doing for cache file name. And then you will be selecting the plugins need to be configured. So what are all the plugins available and what are the plugins you are configuring at data integration service level. So if you want to configure web service properties, you will be selecting this. If you are prompting for mapping service properties, then you will be selecting SQL service you are using, you will be selecting, otherwise no. And you are going to use workflow service, you will be using this. So what are all the things you have selected? The related properties will be need to be configured. So as I have selected these three, you will be finding the appropriate. So I have selected web service plugin, so the details need to be provided. Here is asking for DTM keep alive time. So once a request being processed, so till how many milliseconds the data transformation manager need to be keep alive. So that is the meaning of this DTM keep alive settings. So whenever you are using web services and processing and processing the request. Let's say you are creating address validation or phone validation and you are processing the request or using web service. Then once the request is being processed, so till how many seconds need to be waited. So once the request is processed, whether it need to be wait till next request comes. So until that it will be keep alive. So we will be going with the data transformation manager keep alive settings when we are discussing the web services properties, right? So once we have done with that, this is a mapping services properties. So while you are running mappings, the data integration service will be picked, right? So the settings says maximum notification thread pool size. So it allocates number of threads to send the notification to client. Whenever the mapping is running, if you are prompting for any notification need to be sent, so up to 5 threads it will allow. So based on the requirement, you will be changing that to 5 to 10 or 100. So it depends on your mappings you have. You will be having this setting. And workflow services. So in workflow services, we will be selecting the human task data integration service. So in workflow, we will be having human task. So that human task need to be configured with the data integration service. So the data integration service we will be selecting. If you are going with the very first time, this data integration service will not be available because you are creating right now. So you will not have any data integration service to select. As you already having the data integration service, you will be seeing that. Otherwise, you will not have anything. You will not select any human task data integration service separately. So this is for whenever you are going with a human task. That means it need to be capture all the records. So what are all the records need to be reviewed by analyst. So that records will be captured and it will be transformed to analyst tool. So that operation will be taken care. So in order to operate such settings, we need to provide the human task DIS. So this one again we will be seeing whenever you are going with a human task. So you will be again touch base with these settings. So these are all the steps involved in data integration service. So it is a big one because it is completely what are all the data related operation you are prompting for. So all of them will be taken care by the data integration service. So for that is the reason you will be having more settings compared with the other services. So once we have done, we will be clicking on finish button to add the data integration service. And another service, another primary service we will be going with is analyst service. Again, this is exclusively for analyst tool. So this is also simple one. DQAS is the one you will be having, and you have to provide the license. This is the mandatory steps you will be following. Then you have to configure the analyst security options. So as you are maintaining analyst URL, analyst tool URL, so for that we need to provide the port details. What is a URL? So that URL is having port 8085. So based on the port availability, you will be providing the details. So once that is done, you will be selecting the model repository service. So what else, as already it is tied up with other model repository, it is showing the MMRS. So actual data model repository service is your DQ. So you will be selecting the model repository service and you will be providing the username, password. You are just configuring the model repository service and data integration service, so that whenever you are having metadata information need to be picked or stored, so this model repository service will be communicated with analyst service. And whenever your human task need to be executed and whenever you are going with the reviewing the exceptions, then the records will be picked. by data integration service. So for that we will be selecting the model repository service and human task properties. And at the runtime, what is the data integration service need to be picked. So again is your data integration service. And this flat file cache directory, nothing but whenever the flat file is generating at runtime. So where that where the cache need to be used. So whenever you are having any flat file generation like exporting profile results, so such kind of generation of flat files, then you will be providing the flat file cache directory. And then it's an optional one, metadata manager service. So if you are having metadata manager service, then you will be selecting this. And this is a temporary export directory. So if you are exporting any objects from your analyst tool, so where it will be stored, so the temporary directory we need to provide here, so that whenever you are providing the temporary directory, whenever you are exporting for any business glossary items, so that will be stored in this temporary directory. And once we have provided the details, just click on finish to add an analyst service, so that your analyst service will be created with the analyst tool URL. So once we have created the service, your analyst service URL will be displayed under your service itself. So whenever you want to know your analyst tool URL, then you have to go to analyst service, and in the first line you will be finding service URL, which is your analyst tool. So that is how you will be going with the services configuration. And you are also having the other configurations like content management service, so that we will be seeing whenever we are going with the address validation. So there we will be seeing this content management service, how we are going to configure. So these are all the mandatory service we will be using for IDQ, which is your model repository service, data integration service, and analyst service. Thank you.